What's up, everyone? I'm back to annoy the shit out of you. What's going on? Welcome to the Secret Restaurant Podcast. My name is Nate Hoyle, and I will be your host, but you already knew that. You know what I've been thinking about a lot? People in older generations and stuff. People in older generations are always talking about, like, how hard they work to get to where they are. You ever feel like that's, like, not true? Or do you ever feel like they didn't work any harder than generations younger than them worked? And really what's happening is that they're all just a bunch of gatekeepers who want you to work for them for minimum wage. And that's actually what's happening. Oh yeah, you don't understand how hard I work to get here. You got to work harder, and then maybe I'll do something to help you. Well, I remember working way harder than you, so I'm going to make sure you don't get to any higher than you are now. You haven't worked as hard as I did back then when people just invited me to do things. You didn't work as hard as I did when I was buying a house in my late 20s. It definitely didn't have anything to do with people helping me, though. I didn't make money with people's help. I did it all by my own. You don't know how hard I worked. Then you got the other end of it, which is people your age. People your age who also don't want to help you because they think that if they help you too much, you might become too successful. And so they close the doors on you. They keep you out. And you're left to sit in a little room, typing on a keyboard. In actuality, I do know the truth. The truth is that we all rely on the internet to help us. The internet and social media. I was having a moment. I posted something and then I feel like I sounded crazy. But I still felt like there was sentiment to it. But I feel like I didn't explain it all the way. You know what I was thinking about? Because there's always like trends on social media. I mean, this isn't. An example that's diet. An example that's, no pun intended, diet is when people were all baking bread during COVID, like it was a trend. Like that happens all the time because of social media. And bread was like harmless, right? It's like people are learning how to bake bread. It's great. They're just getting the ingredients for bread, making bread. But now it seems like every week, couple weeks, month, there's something that everybody is like obsessed about. And it's like they're all learning it from their phone. And I had this moment, it's hard for me to speak seriously, but like that's like really dangerous. Like how many people are getting everything in their life from their phone. Or like you go to a patio to get lunch or something. People are sitting by you. How much time passes before they talk about some TikTok video, All right, so aside from bread, just so that I can reiterate or be specific or something. So that's like a form of consumerism that's like harmless because it's not focused in a brand. But then it's like all of a sudden you see posts that are like, oh, CDs are coming back, DVDs are coming back. And so then that's like actually people are profiting off of that. I mean, it's not a ton. It's like most CDs are used supporting record stores, people on eBay. DVDs are really cheap. But it's still like that's a commodity that people are taking a trend and buying shit with. Okay, I'm teaching you evil, actually. Maybe I shouldn't be even doing this at all. I'm saying this because a lot of my friends are on their phone all the time. I have social media. I see other people on their phones all the time, what they post and whatnot. So then it's like there's the political side of it. I mean, if I go on Instagram, like I don't mind being teased for like being a man. But like some of the things I see people who like know me liking, it's like, how are you even agreeing with this? Or like, why are you so obsessed with like how bad men are? You know what I mean? It's like almost like borderline brainwashing. Like, I know you in the real world. I have conversations with you. But then you watch 10,000 reels or TikToks all talking about like how all men are bad, or like how this large percentage of men are bad. It's like you're learning it from your phone, not from the real world. I guess that's my real point, is that you need to learn from the real world and not from watching 10,000 TikToks. I mean, it goes the other way as well. Like, I know a lot of men out there hate women. A lot of men are bad to women. But I don't think it's like, once I like see people I know like liking those videos all the time, it's like, am I supposed to not talk to you? I do not mind if it's in good humor either. I think the main point of that is, it's sort of like, to me, it seems like it's sort of a rabbit hole of like, it starts, these are funny, and then it just goes deeper and deeper, and then like people are just like sitting there. People used to worry about TV brainwashing people, and like now it's like the algorithm is doing it. And then meanwhile, I'm being hypocritical because all the while I'm seeing this like stuff that on the other end of it, people call it rage baiting, and I'm getting mad about it, or like getting like confused or like hurting my feelings about it, when it's literally the same thing. It's like coming from my phone. It's like, why are we doing this to ourselves? All that being said, I do have a marketing scheme I'm working on for just a military style bombardment of short videos, which I will post on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, maybe even Facebook. And they all revolve around one simple thing: the idea that poetry is not always gay. You know, young people today, they just don't want to work. They just don't want to work as hard as we did. We worked really hard. We worked really hard back then. We worked really hard, and it was really tough, and then we did it. It took a long time for us. We didn't get there. It took us a really long time, and we worked really hard. I was watching this podcast. I think it was just a clip. I'm not gonna say what it was. It was one of those ones that's like three dudes talking. Just three dudes talking about stuff. And they were having a conversation, an intellectual conversation, about a particular musician. And this musician is kind of a known heartthrob. And this is a comedy podcast, not a music podcast. But they were talking, and one of the dudes on the podcast was like, "The first time I saw that guy, it pissed me off." And I'm like, I think that means you're gay, dude. Like, if you have an emotional reaction to seeing another man, even if it is hatred, I don't know. What does the chat think? Why don't we put it in the comments what everyone thinks? I will say for certain there's only been one time in my entire life that I saw another man and had an emotional reaction to it. And it was the first time I laid eyes on Jesus Christ. I can actually remember it very vividly. He was up on the cross. He was up there hanging. I'd never seen him before. And I look up to him and I'm like, ugh, gross, dude. Why is it that we leave him up there? That's got to be someone else's joke already. It's a good question, though. Why do we keep doing this to him? Doing that to Jesus up on the cross 2,000 years later, it's sort of like the same way we keep on picking up our phones day in, day out, knowing full well that we are torturing ourselves. What should I tell you about Secret Restaurant Press, other than my strategies of mass short video apocalypse? Dude, I had a horrible couple of days. Because I've talked about it on here a lot. Like, I have a lot of back problems, And mainly it's like a herniated disc that's in my really lower back, far lower back, which happened from lifting things, like in restaurants. It happened twice, and then I just kept on having other stuff happen to it over the span of like 15 years. But then 2 days ago, I think I slipped a disc like up near my neck now. Because I literally, when it happened, it was like excruciating. And I don't say that lightly. I'm kind of like a tough dude. But I literally could not look up for like a whole day. And it was like, just like sharp aching pains. Unless I held my body in like a kind of really specific way. And then it got better over time the more I'd moved. So that makes me think it was like another slip disc. But that's just the problem of staring at your computer, typing on your computer too much. It's like, it's an old saying, but the second things start going well, something comes up, something bad happens. Like I've been writing so much. And then that happened. So I'm still writing. I've got to figure out a way to like, sometimes I use a standing desk, but I feel like I'm just not as productive with it. And it's not actually a standing desk. It's like I put my laptop on top of a printer on a desk because I do not have an actual standing desk. And then even then, it's like the screen is really low. Like I need to get like a keyboard that's where it normally would be comfortably. And then I want to get like a monitor or like a tablet or something that would be like directly in front of my face if I'm looking straight ahead, so that I don't arch my spine and my neck and whatnot. I've been powering through it though. It's just something you have to be conscientious of, like not sitting too long, I guess. And then when I was hurt, I actually had to lay flat on my back in bed for like the rest of the day. It was too painful. But then I still brought like a notebook into bed because I couldn't watch TV. I had to have my face pointed straight at the ceiling, or like I didn't really want to just sit on my phone, which is probably actually how I spiraled into the whole debacle of phone-related mind control. But because it was like all I was thinking about, sitting there unable to move. But brought a notebook in bed with me. All those writers out there know this, but if you use like a ballpoint pen, you can only write when the pen is right side up. Otherwise, if it's upside down, the ink starts to not work. So luckily, I found a felt tip pen, but it was actually green, which is kind of a story in itself. So I was writing with that. I've still been productive. One more thing I just remembered though, which is another description of how pitiful I was for like 2 days. I couldn't drink anything because I couldn't lift it up. Like I couldn't tilt my head back to drink like from a can or a bottle or anything, or a glass. So I literally had to drink through a straw. Oh, it was so embarrassing. It was like pathetic. I had like just my water bottle, and then like I had like a metal straw. I found a metal straw and like it's still sitting here. I don't need to use it anymore. It was so pathetic. That's what I hate about being hurt, is like, and especially just because I've experienced a lot because of my back. Like, large portions of my life have been hindered by various back problems. You just feel so like pathetic. Like all the things that you want to do, you realize you can't do them. There were points where like I couldn't drive, or I was afraid to drive, and then I had to cancel my band practice, or I had to not go to my band practice. I think they still got together because I couldn't put a strap of a guitar on my back. Oh, it's crazy. Anyway, I'm hoping that moving through this novel that I've been writing, I think if I stay productive and like write for an hour or two in the morning, and then when I have time at night, I think I could probably finish a full draft in like a month. But as I mentioned, whenever you think that you are gliding through things well, then something happens. So maybe I'll get busy with something else or something. But I'm already thinking about, once I do finish it, do I send it out to presses? Do I self-publish it? I've already self-published, obviously, a lot of books. Or self-published, quote-unquote, Secret Restaurant published it. And I'm trying to decide if it would be beneficial to me to do that with a novel as well, or if I might want to actually, for the first time ever, release a project through a different press. Something I have to think about. I will say pros and cons for me. The pros obviously would be exposure. I'm saying this because I hope it's relatable, not just to talk about myself. But obviously for another press, exposure and potentially more sales, potentially more opportunities for more books. But I do know, as far as the book market goes, it might also tie me up to like not be able to release something else for a span of time. Whereas if I self-publish it, I can figure out ways to promote it. I'd probably have to buy it or pay for an editor, or I definitely would. I wouldn't want to make someone do it for free or ask them to. But then that's expensive in itself, and then it's like, would I ever make any money off it? And then how do you promote it? But in reality, if I write a bunch of novels in the next few years, I can just release them whenever I want that way. Still thinking about it. The book is probably called I'm Supposed to Be No One, which is a pun or a change on I'm Supposed to Be Someone. And so I took it, it's like I'm supposed to be someone, but then it crosses out someone, and then it says no one underneath it. So the title, it's like kind of depressing, but the meaning behind it is that it's a book about a guy who, or there's an ensemble of characters, but he like loses a bet, and then since he lost the bet, he has to join this church, which is essentially like a cult. A bad cult, but he doesn't know that. The person who made him go to the cult didn't know that. And then things kind of spiral. It's kind of, obviously, like anything I've written, there's still like humor to it. It's not like a brutal horror story or anything. I think it might categorize as horror in some aspects. Should I read you some? Do you want me to read you a little bit? All right, so this is the first chapter, I think. It's kind of sinister undertones. I know that. I feel like it's easy to be sinister in writing when people are familiar with you. But not when they are not familiar with you. All right, so this is chapter 1. Excuse me. Chapter 1. No. Chapter 1. The potatoes hid like landmines beneath the dirt of the rolling countryside, their buried foreheads camouflaged by their own weed-like vines. Under a perfect sun, the farmland's machinery continued to run, milking the land of its starchy clusters of nutritional produce. Spud Hammond brushed his palms together and shook the dirt off his overalls. He gazed fondly across his farmland like he was Mother Nature herself. "Well," he said to the endless Midwest sky. All around him, mountains of potatoes piled like sand at the base of an hourglass. This morning, Spud's face looked like it often did, tired but content, as though he was reaching the end of a long but happy journey, his deepened eyes still full of curiosity and hopefulness of what wonders lay ahead. His long hair remained parted, tucked behind his ears. His beard was so overgrown, you could not see that he was smiling. Without needing to turn his head, he could hear the rattle of his old pickup truck pull closer and come to a stop. The door opened and shut and 2 feet crunched up to his side. It was Heather, in a baggy pair of work pants. He ignored the fact that her pants were split at the crotch. The loose fabric still covered her lower body like a curtain, except when she squatted down to the ground, which she was doing right now. She flicked at the dirt, half exposing the top of a potato. "Are you coming in soon?" Heather said, balancing on one foot as she rose back up. Anyone who saw Heather in public would wonder why she moved the way she did. Her presence was like a cycling combination of a ballerina and a professional wrestler. It took Spud a long time to realize that she wasn't acting strange on purpose. She was simply being herself at all times, no matter how much her movements drew attention to herself. Spud stuck one thumb in the strap of his overalls. "We live a lovely life," he said, as a soft breeze carried over the fields. Finally, he turned to face her directly. "I noticed you haven't shaved today." He reached to poke a finger on her stubble-covered scalp. She leaned away coolly. Her eyebrows looked like a growing horde of ants. "I wanted to come see you first," she said. Spud noted her growing confidence. When he first met her, she was afraid to say anything in opposition to his command, but she was several years older now, nearly 23. He hoped that she wouldn't outgrow her thirst for guidance. It would be bad for the both of them, but mostly it would be bad for their cause. "I didn't know if you would be leaving the farm soon," she said, sounding rehearsed. Spud noted that she could not keep eye contact. He had forgotten what color her hair was when he met her. Now the dark brown stubble created an odd curiosity in him that he forced back down into his stomach. "You know the rules," he said, trying to keep a soothing quality to his tone. "You have to shave before you come out of your room. The rules are the same for everyone. You're not above them, despite you living on this farm with me." "But I'm your favorite," she said. The words were a statement rather than a question. Spud knew that she was right, but letting her know this would give her the upper hand. He chose not to say anything, instead stroking his beard, his hands covered in a thin layer of soil. He was 30 years older than her. He knew that she acted differently when she was around him, more innocent, more unsure of the world, but he acted differently around her as well. He hid so much of himself. He did not want her to know that he was a monster. I'm excited about it. You know what's interesting? I wrote that first chapter. I wrote a draft of, and that's not the whole chapter. It's only like 2 pages or 3 pages, but I wrote a draft of it maybe 3 years ago. And then I started another story, or I started the actual story about the cult separately. But then when I was writing kind of the villain for the cult, I thought of that section I wrote. All right, team. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you guys later.